Today's video comes from beautiful Bellows Falls, Vermont in the United States, and it involves 3 different bills. Not $100 bills, regular bills. Bills as in people. So, first bill says, "Good day. Will this spike in ocean temperatures affect the submarine college prediction for September?" Submarine. Apparently there's vessels involved. And I respond, perhaps slightly. The 6-month ensemble forecast is exceptionally conservative, though. Each observed point so far is greater than the forecast. And I've reported this a few times. If you actually follow the post-naval schools 6-month ensemble forecast, you will see that the red dots above the forecast are always above the forecast, indicating that for all the data we have so far, the actual number comes out to be higher than that predicted by the forecast. Bill number 2. Hello guys, sorry I missed your presentation at the Rockingham Library earlier this year. I also live in Bellows Falls. Question on the wildfire comments per the Florida TV station weather person comments. Aren't most of the wildfires in Canada intentionally set? Are we looking at an organized effort to mislead the public on some of the climate change reports by exasperating the situation through criminal activity like arson? Thank you, Bill. And my response? Aren't most of the wildfires in Canada intentionally set? That's his question. I say, I can't imagine this is the case. Lightning is the overwhelming source of fires in the US and Canada. The next thing he asks, aren't we looking at an organized effort to mislead the public on some of the climate change reports by exasperating the situation through criminal activity like arson? My response, I'd be very surprised. Bill writes, thanks for getting back to me with a lightning angle. When the fires are reported in the media, there is seldom a reason given as to how they started. Blaming these fires and volcanic activity on climate change is akin to the pandemic-era practice of hospitals finding nearly all deaths as COVID-related and then getting a funding premium for doing so. By the way, approximately 70% of wildfires in the United States and Canada come as a source with lightning as the source. Bill goes on, climate change is real, but the slipshod reporting muddies the waters. Perhaps this issue is too big to trust to a corporate soundbite media. An afterthought, since we stopped the practice of brush burning, there is more tinder to burn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Native Americans also had scheduled burns to prevent larger, more devastating ones. I write, indeed they did. Government officials still do. I've lit hundreds of prescribed fires while working for government agencies and while working as a graduate student and professor at universities. Bill responds, thanks for the quick response, Guy. Reports I've heard stated that this practice was curtailed in California and actually helped fuel the wildfires there. I haven't responded. I receive more than 200 email messages every day, and I'm afraid I don't have time to respond to all of them, especially the ones that, well, I've already answered. That's the best way to put it, or at least the most polite way. This bill says, hey, I came up with another solution to climate change I thought I'd share. It's to move the Earth further away from the sun using psychic ability. I ignored that. Bill follows up. Maybe things can breathe in a certain way to sequester greenhouse gases or do so by other means. I ignored that because I can only tolerate so much irrelevant nonsense every day with more than 200 email messages I receive every day. And final comment from this particular bill and final comment for today's video, I think controlling atmokinesis, parentheses, psychically controlling the weather, would be the best solution to climate change I can think of. We already influence the weather and the entire universe with our mindset because the universe is the mind. We're all one. Form is formed from a single infinite potential consciousness which takes up all the space, and what we are fundamentally was never created. Now that's a sentence. So it could work. The higher our state of consciousness is, the better. For this and other reasons, I think classic psychedelics need to be completely legal for everyone as soon as possible, because they can raise a person's state of consciousnesses to take them towards nirvana in either hours or seconds, depending on what is taken and what way it is taken. Whilst experiencing nirvana, it is the best thing for oneself and everything else in the universe, because one is completely without fear or stress. Whilst experiencing nirvana, one would feel most alive and, so long as it's maintained, not pass away. Even if we didn't need to perform atmokinesis to preserve life on Earth, I still think classical psychedelics should be completely legal for everyone. And I think that psychedelics should be free for everyone as well. And in fact, I think we should do that with all of the drugs that are currently deemed illegal. We're adults. Can the government start treating us like adults? It would surprise me. At the edge of extinction, only love remains. But there's a certain amount of craziness out there too.